Welcome back to Burn and Barrel, and today we're going to be reviewing Old Line Sherry Cask Single Malt. Old Line is a distillery that is located in Baltimore, Maryland. It was founded by Mark McLaughlin and Arch Watkins, who were both stationed at the same Navy base and flew together during the active duty squadrons. You can read their full story on the Old Line website that I have linked in the description below. This bottle is part of the Old Line Double Oak series. This is where they provide various finishes to their single malt whiskey. This particular bottle is the Sherry Cask finish. Similar to the first two Old Line bottles that I have reviewed, the back of the bottle contains tasting notes, and the front side of the bottle has the Old Line logo and the name. Unlike the previous two, the labels on this bottle are red, and the whiskey itself is dark, which can be attributed to the Sherry Cask finish. And now, let's get into the review.
So I've gone ahead and poured up the Sherry Cask Old Line here. So let's go ahead and get started in this review. So again, with the color on this one is very dark, and obviously you can attribute that to its sherry finish. It being a sort of wine finish, it's gonna have that deeper dark color from that. So, and it's very prevalent here. I don't believe this is age dated. At least I can't see it. You may be able to search it up. I'm not sure, but either way, no matter what the age on this was, it would still be very masked by the sherry finish on this. So, I'm very excited for this. Already on the color, I've never really experienced a lot of sherry casks, so this is gonna be a new kind of territory for me. So let's just get right into it. So you can tell on the nose that it's definitely got some sort of like sherry finish. Yeah, it's got some strawberry in there. It's got that chocolatey from the single malt, so kind of like a strawberry that's been dipped in chocolate. I think that's a pretty good description for this one. It's got a little bit of oak on it. I'm also getting like a raisin, like a grape or raisin, something like that. Very interesting though, I like it. It's very, very nice. So let's just get right into the palate. Okay, so this is really good. So the initial part of the palate, gives me the single malt that I got from like the Navy strength and from the flagship, kind of like that chocolatey. This is not as milk chocolatey as the Navy was, but it's not nearly as dark. I would say it's somewhere in the middle of the sweetness level of the chocolate. I think it's not like a dark chocolate, not milk, somewhere in the middle. But still got some sweetness on the chocolate note, and then you get not just strawberry. I mean, I'm getting all sorts of different like red fruits, like strawberry, like maybe a little apple or a cherry, or just a lot of different types of red fruits, maybe raspberry, I don't know, just some sort of red fruit. That's the kind of vibe I get. Just really fruity past the chocolate note on the front. And then I get a little bit of that oak on the end. Yeah, I get a little oak on the end, but I'm also getting that orange zest that I've gotten on the other two. That's showing up here. Not as prevalent because it's getting masked by the sherry finish of this bottle, but I think this is a super good balanced palate here. Going into the finish more, it's got that oak, like I said, more of just like a caramel sweetness, I guess. You kind of lose a little bit of the fruits on the end, but it's long. The finish is longer, so it lasts the full way through. Got the oak, but it's not bitter. It's got a little bit of sweetness to it that I'm liking. Yeah, let me get another sip just to see if I missed anything. Yeah. I mean, that sherry influence is just really good. I mean, up front, I'm just getting like fruit, like a fruit bomb up front. And it's just all sorts of red fruits. I guess the best way I could describe it is like a red fruit medley. Just a lot of different types of fruit notes in the beginning. and pairing up with that chocolate note is just super nice. It's just resonating in your mouth. And like I said, the finish is long, so like you lose a little bit of the fruitiness, but you keep the sweetness of that chocolate, and the caramel note kind of comes through, hooks up with the oak on the end, and just forms something really, really beautiful. So I'm really digging this. Now, in like a pecking order of the 3 old lines that I've tried, I'm gonna go like a flagship. I gave it a 6 out of 10, so I put it on the bottom. Again, not a bad bottle whatsoever. Just out of these 3, it's just gotta be last. Next, I would put Navy Strength, a good bit above the flagship, but very close behind this one. I think this is my favorite just because of the fruit note, and I like the balance that it brings. I like all the different kinds of flavors you get in it. I'm not saying you didn't get anything in the Navy Strength, it's just you got the caramel, or not caramel, excuse me, you got the chocolate in that single malt, or from the single malt in the Navy Strength, and then you got some oak, and then you got a little bit of that orange zest, but like past that, you didn't get a ton of other like super fruity notes. This, however, I'm getting a lot of fruit notes on top of those other notes as well. The one thing I do like about the Navy Strength a little bit more than I do this one is the chocolate note is a little bit more bitter in this one than the other one. But it very much makes up for it with the fruit notes that I'm getting in terms of both sweetness and a balance of flavors. This one is just super good. So this bottle was $65, and like the other ones, you can see some of the flavor notes on the back. It mentions stone fruit, which I'm getting more like a red fruit, vanilla. Sure, it gets kind of lost in there a little bit. Cocoa, baking spices, raisins, blah, blah, blah. So you get a bunch of different like tasting notes on the back. So if you need help following with some of that, that's a good starter. But again, each to their own with the palate. And so, yeah, this bottle was $65, and the Navy Strength was $55, and the flagship was $45. I think all 3 bottles are very much worth it, and particularly this one. I have, like I said at the beginning, I've not really dabbled into a lot of sherry casks. However, if a lot of them are going to have this similar type of profile with like the fruits, and I know some other ones may not have the chocolate note because this is a single malt, but the fruit note I really like. So I'm hoping a lot of the sherry cask finishes that I try are going to have something similar and will provide a good balance of flavors, because this is just incredible. I give this an 8 out of 10. So I gave the flagship a 6 and the Navy Strength a 7. So this definitely is getting an 8 for me. And I think it's the best of the 3 that I have so far. I want to try to get to more old line products because obviously I'm enjoying them. So, but yeah, that wraps up this review. In short, this is a very good bottle, and I want to try to get into more sherry casks. And if you are just getting into sherry casks or want to try to find a good starting point, I think this is a great bottle to start with.
I hope you've enjoyed this review of the Old Line Sherry Cask Single Malt. I have left a summarized version of this review in the description below alongside the Old Line website. Don't forget to leave a comment down below of what you think of this bottle. I have thoroughly enjoyed reviewing these Old Line bottles, so be sure to check out the other videos on screen now. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time here on Burn and Barrel.